Everybody laughing, everybody glad, everybody keeps in a fun, we in Trinidad. Always reshuffling cabinet and up to now they can't do nothing yet and we laughing. We buy a boat and it never floating, then we know it used to carry boat and we laughing. Raise the salary with a big back pay and we trenching for workers every day and we laughing. When election come and you wouldn't vote or you stay in this we go cut it throat and we laughing. Everybody laughing, everybody glad, everybody keeps in a fun, we in Trinidad. Everybody laughing, everybody glad, everybody keeps in a fun.
Every creed and race must find an equal place.
Yeah, big divide. If there was a better life.
Blessing, good afternoon to each and every one of you. Welcome to Facts, Not Fiction. Of course, today being Boxing Day, I want to send out greetings to each and everyone over this festive season. And at the same time, I want you to know that I am here today, and as usual, I have my gloves on. So since it's Boxing Day, I come with my gloves today. Welcome to you locally, regionally, internationally. Welcome to Facts Not Fiction. Of course, today being Sunday is as good as any other Sunday. Let's get right into action. Rounds one. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I go further, I want to send out some thank you. First to NJ Computers, I want to thank you. I also want to thank Dr. Rudal Munilal, MP. I also want to thank Senator Laida. Yes. I also want to thank Curtis. Curtis, you know where you are in the U.S., my good friend Dip. I want to also personally thank the lady. I didn't get permission to call some names, so the lady who take the time out to go to the UNC Tanapuna office and leave that donation, I want to say a special thank you for that donation. I also want to thank someone else for making also some hampers available. And I also want to thank the team who put those hampers together. We were able to put 100 hampers together. And of course, they were distributed on the 25th and also some were distributed on the 24th. So these are the folks who made it possible so that this 100 hamper can reach you folks in the constituency of Labre and also other areas out of Labre where you had a need, and therefore we saw it fit to meet your need. So I want you to thank these individuals. They are the one who assisted in making this happen. And mind you, it is not the first time. So I want to say special thank you, and those of you who receive the hamper and continue to send so many thanks, I want you to know that it was not Victor Roberts and his family alone. All these forementioned individuals made it possible so that you could receive something. Okay? Right. Christmas Day, ladies and gentlemen, I took a coffin, a casket, in front of the gate of the Minister of Health, Terence Dialsing. I took that coffin there, ladies and gentlemen, and as some of you who wanted to know why, today I will try to assist you to understand why. To some of you who remain in that small world of thinking, where your brain capacity probably did not develop enough so that you can understand what is happening in our country as I speak. Those of you who believe that this is about UNC, then you could believe whatever you want to believe. That is a matter for you. And to those of you who believe that this African boy taking instructions, as you put it, from some Indian person, that is a matter for you. But I want to help you first of all to understand that this African boy were able to do what you cannot do. And what you cannot do is to allow your brain to think, to understand, to see, to analyze, and to take the necessary action as a result of what is happening. You see, some of you remain in that little barrel that you cannot think outside that barrel. That barrel that you continue to stay in could only help you to see what is inside the barrel. But outside of that P&M barrel is the real world, the world of reality, the world of what is happening within our health sector. Something that you cannot see until that coffin reaches inside the barrel to collect your body. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a situation. I saw one person who caught my attention with a comment. And that individual said that we are doing better than all the outside countries in managing this pandemic. And the reason why that caught my attention, ladies and gentlemen, is because this individual is not in that drum that I spoke of, but that individual is inside a teacup. That individual is inside a teacup. Because if with all the information that is coming to you from this platform, from Douglas Politics platform, from Douglas Radio, from the Monday Night Forum, and in the cabinet, a matter of fact, in the parliament, all the information that continue to come to you from folks like Dr. Tim Gopi Singh and other doctors who bring in the information inside your house. And you could say that this government and this health minister is treating with this situation better than the outside world, then I think you are not even in a teacup, but you are probably in a cork, inside a bottle cork, that you cannot understand what is happening out here. But hold on. That black casket may very well reach by you folks who believe that the government is acting responsible, that the government is dealing with it in a competent matter, and the government is providing what is necessary to deal with this pandemic. Then you just hold your horses. You wait. You just wait. Because old people always say, what in pass you, in meet you yet. But let us get into some business here now. Ladies and gentlemen, when you look at the death toll on a daily basis, you telling me today that you are comfortable with the government response to this pandemic? Is that what you are saying on social media and on other platforms? When you look at the death toll from the 20s to the 30s and very soon the 40s and the 50s, you are telling people in this country that this government is doing a good job. Boy, all you have to be sick. All you have to be contaminated. All you have to be drinking that juice. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we in a population of about 1.4 million citizens in this country, we are seeing that this government have about 60 to 65 ventilators. One of the most critical things to deal with any form of respiratory ailment. A matter of fact, you could consider that as the golden tool. The tool of gold, the tool of life, the tool of energy, the tool of strength. That is what a ventilator represents. It represents hope. It represents give me a chance. It represents a lifesaver. It represents, ladies and gentlemen, your loved ones coming home. It represents saving your children's lives. It represents saving your husband and your wife. It represents saving your mommy and your daddy, people. And if our infection rate is as what the all sing, and the government is saying, then you tell me, ladies and gentlemen, how in God's name that 60 or 65 ventilators would be sufficient to save your life. To save your life. Forget the neighbor for now. Forget your son or your brother. Forget your mother or your father to save your life. You see, I have friends in places, and sometimes things does end up in my mailbox. Sometimes I will see things that you cannot see, simply because some of you want to remain blind. And then some of you may not have friends like I do. So sometimes I will see things, ladies and gentlemen. Have you ever seen an individual drowning? Have you ever seen an individual gone down and come back up? Let me tell you something, people. I saw a guy who stated that he could have swum, jumping a dam about 15 to 20 feet. He said he's a diver, and he diving, and it's a good thing that I came out the dam before he dive in, because the water murky, in other words, it's muddy. And when he dive in, ladies and gentlemen, I on the bank waiting to see when he come up on the other side. And while I watching in the water, I am seeing the water, turbulence in the water, shaking. And my sense tell me something wrong. I dive in the pond, not seeing the individual. And God work it while I pulling under the pond. The pond, no, it's not a good swimmer like Arnold Roberts, remember that. But while I am pulling underneath here, my hand touched something, and I realized was the guy. And I held him from behind and bring him up. And when I bring him up, he pushing me down. You know why? He pressing me down because he want to get that breath. He want to remain out of the water. He wants to survive. I had to let him go. And when he go down again, I go down. And I pick him up again from behind. Bring him up, push him and let him go. Push him and let him go. By that time, 3 other guys run to my assistance. And we were able to get him out of the water. Ladies and gentlemen, when we get he out of the water, I can't come out. I was so tired trying to save this guy's life that I can't even take a breath inside the pond. I stick my fingers inside the dirt at the edge of the pond and relax myself. And then those guys help me come out of the water also. When I reach on the bank, That guy vomiting water, mud, everything. I begging him, catch up, take your time, brother. Don't force the breathe, take your time. And that guy fight. He started to cry. When he catch himself, he started to cry. Literal tears. Everybody, I am also upset. I say, well, boy, what make you dive in the dam if you know you can't swim? I said that to say this, ladies and gentlemen. I listened to something where somebody gasping for breath and crying and saying, help, 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 help. And eventually, I wasn't able to listen to anything again. You know why? Because that individual had no ventilator to go on. The ventilators, which was 4, was occupied. And while you have 4 ventilators occupied, and you have 10 other patients coming to that facility, those patients will die. Because there's no ventilator to put them on, to give them a chance to live. And you asking why this coffin by the Alsing house? You asking why? If all you want to know why, go in one of them COVID facility. Go in there and you will know why that coffin. You elect a government in office. When you elect a government in office, that government is responsible for every and any national issues. That government, ladies and gentlemen, have to provide, not if, but, or some of you idiots, I hear a woman call on the radio station the other day. She called on one of them radio stations and say, it's about time people wean off the government because the government had a role and a responsibility and the government can facilitate this and the word. Why you don't hush all them out? Why you don't hush all them out? Because all are better off, because all are working, because all have big work and all have nice money. You talking about, so you never, Miss Lady, let me tell you something. All you better stay off of these programs and them when all you know all you coming to talk that pack of hogwash. Stay off of the program when all you coming to talk them dotishness. The government have a responsibility to secure this country from any outside threat. Today, Spanish came in Palo Seco. Today, this morning, where's national security? Where's Hines? Although they studied to talk a pack of foolishness, where's Hines? They come in on Palo Seco Beach this morning. Where's Hines? Where are all these different variants coming from? But all studying why that coffin? Why that coffin? What all you better worry is who that coffin going by next. Is which one of the minister house is going by next. Try and find out that. Get all your national security to find out that. It's where it going next. Because it going, it now start. It now start. The government have a responsibility to provide for its citizens in any disaster. Ladies and gentlemen, this government say they spend over $20 billion on equipment. We search, we Google search the prices of a ventilator. Ladies and gentlemen, how come our citizens are dying on the corridor? Let the Alsing tell you how much they didn't support today in the corridor and last night. Let him tell you. He gonna have the figures. Let him tell you. Right now, my wife aunt in Siparia right now, health facility. You hear what I'm saying? Let that man tell you how much people die without a ventilator in Siparia. So why all you feel that this thing is some jokey thing? Let me tell you something. Terence the Alsing, you see where the coffin is? The coffin on the road. The coffin on the road in front of Terrence's house. Terrence's privacy is inside the house. That is where his privacy lies, inside the house. As he come out from inside there, he becomes public property. You know why? Because he make himself available to enter into public life. Not private life, public life. So you see when he come out from behind our wall there, then he behind his mind. Inside there, that he. But when he come out there, that me, that we, and that all of us. That way it is. Because he in public life. And if he in public life, he have a responsibility as the Minister of Health to ensure that the facilities is properly well outfitted to save the lives of your mother and father. His responsibility is to ensure that the facilities are properly well outfitted to save the life of your mother and your father. Added to that, the money that have to be spent is not Alsing money, it's not Rowley money, it's not Fitzgerald, it's not Alwa. Take back that. Take back that, Victor Roberts. Don't say it's not Alwari money. Take back that. We go deal with that just now. But the money to spend is not PNM money. That is your taxpayer. Listen, I really want to know what education someone will get on that PNM, you know, because I can't believe that all your brains so small that all you can't even think. I really want to know, boy. I want to know what someone will get. I want to know what someone will get. The Alsing try any best. The Alsing try any best. Only for real. Only for real people. Or only brainwash with stupidity. The Alsing try any best. The Alsing try any best. The Alsing tell you, if the thing do come here, might be one or no case. The Alsing tell you, wearing a mask is of absolutely not important. What trouble I see in this place, boy? Ladies and gentlemen, all you understand what is happening in this country yet, you know? All you understand when all you have 30 and 40 deaths a day, what the population would result to? You understand how many of your family would be passing in that black coffin? You understand that? I don't think all you understand what happened yet, you know. I don't think all you understand. The health sector today represent that. That is what that represent. Let me fix that. The health sector today, the coffin represent that. The health sector dead. Democracy today, that coffin represent that. Democracy dead. That's why Forrest coming to do all you what he want. Because it have a bunch of you A bunch of y'all who have no brain. I don't know if all have a head of a shrimp, or I don't know if all have a head of a canal conch, but something wrong with all head. Because if all you satisfied with what is happening in relation to the amount of deaths in this country, then all is sick people. All you have to be sick people. All you talking so because it didn't reach by all you yet to know, because I listen to some all your comments. Here all you. Nobody tell them to wash their hand. Nobody tell them to go out without mask. And boy, watch, something really wrong with all your people. Something really wrong with all your boy. All your bunch of idiots. That is not the issue we're dealing with. The issue that coffin represent is that the Alsing and the government have not outfit the parallel healthcare system to save all your life, to save all your mother life, to save all your father life. That is the issue. We ain't talking about who in wash their hand or who in pour their mask. We're talking about in the facility. It is not equipped to save the people life. That is what we're talking about. That is what I'm talking about. That is what Victor Roberts speaking of. So all of you want to be politician, and all of you who feel that is about race, all you so, watch me, all you so sick. Here what they do, all they put race into that. Like if when death passed, the Indian and dying too. First all is idiots. First all is idiots. All they put in race into death. So death taking the African and not the Indian. All these sick people, boy. All these sick. Sick people. This is not a game. This is not you die today and come back tomorrow. This is not you make a mistake and dead and tomorrow you come back alive and you won't make the same mistake. When you're dead, you're dead. You hear what I'm saying to you? When you're dead, you're like Rover, you're dead all over. It's not coming back. DLC and the government is charged with a constitutional responsibility, especially under this pandemic, to prepare the necessary space, the necessary nurses, the necessary specialists, the necessary apparatus to look after our citizens. This is not a favor. We're not asking the Alsing to do a favor. The Alsing have failed in his discharging of his duties. And you people who support that, all you're more dotish than anything else. Real talk. All you who supporting this government response to the pandemic, I'm sorry that COVID thing come by all you. Let me say it again. All of you who supporting the government position in response to this pandemic, that should come by all you, because all you that had the people dying because they standing up for nothing. All you supporting our government down to death. All you supporting our PNM down to death. That is how wicked someone is. I doing my part, and I will continue to do my part. As long as God permit me and give me strength and health, I will do my part. You feel my part is to get a position in the UNC? You feel my part is for fame and glory? You feel my part is for me to make something of me? You don't know me. You don't know me. Go back on my page from day one and you will learn me. Go back on Victor Roberts' page and you will learn me. You will see what I was, what I is, and what I will continue to be. Yeah, I know you want me to say what I am, but I know what I say. You will see. So don't feel this is about UNC. This is about the citizens of this country who dying because of the government negligence. This is what this is. You feel I care who vex or who please with what I do in relation to the people who dying in this country? You feel like looking for a thumbs up from somebody for what I doing? You feel like looking for some fame or some recognition because of the death of our citizens? You could talk so because death didn't reach my earlier yet. I have friends who died. Yesterday, I was with one of my friends who survived COVID. He spent 25 days. 25 days. You hear what I'm saying? On a ventilator. Tube here, tube there, tube there. Anywhere a hole a tube. And when my friend gave the story and thanking God that he was able to get on a ventilator, unlike some others who come either before him or after him. And let me tell you why I say that. The doctors will make the decision, you know, who they believe more critical. Who they believe more critical. The doctors just make the decision. But my friend was able to tell me the pain and the sufferation. I myself, who nearly drowned at one time, fall out a boat. I understand what it means for that drop of air, for that oxygen to get down in your lungs. I know what the pain is like. When I get shot, I get my 2 lungs punctured. And I know what the pain is like to get air. So nobody can talk to me. Nobody can speak to what I'm doing. What I'm doing is on behalf of those who dead and those who will die because of the negligence of the government. That is what I'm doing. I will carry that coffin by any one of them anytime I feel, until they outfit the health sector, the parallel health sector, with the necessary apparatus to save lives. This is not about who didn't go and who go and who. I don't care about that. What I care about is to outfit the facility. That is what Victor must care about. That is what my fight is about. My fight is to outfit the facility and give the citizens a chance to live. Is that too much to ask? Is that too much to fight for? Is that too much to walk with that coffin for? Is that too much, ladies and gentlemen, for you to understand that today is me and tomorrow could very well be you? Is that so hard to understand that the neighbor who crying, that neighbor gets some kind of justice? Ladies and gentlemen, something wrong with all in this country. Something wrong with all you in this country. The wealth of this country, the money in this country. How come Faris Alwari family could collect millions of dollars in rent and the facility have no ventilator? How come Stuart Young brother could get so much $1 million in contract and the facility have no ventilator? How come the Prime Minister could buy his wife and his daughter, 3 buildings, and the hospital had no ventilator? Are you satisfied with that? Are you so sick in this country? Are you don't understand the pain that these families feeling? Are you have no love in all your heart? All you ain't hearing the neighbor crying when the night come? All you ain't understand that is the loved ones that is perishing because of this incompetent minister and an incompetent government? All you ain't understand the pain that a mother does feel to bring forth her children and to see their life going down the drain simply because there is not a ventilator to help save their life, and all you vexed with a coffin that all you have to go in, a coffin that I will go in one of these days, a coffin, ladies and gentlemen, that signified that there is too much debt with this pandemic in our country, a coffin that's showing you the weaknesses and the lack of caring by our government, a coffin that represents, ladies and gentlemen, the death of our democracy, our democratic right in this country. Something have to be wrong. Something have to be wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Only in understanding what's going on. Something wrong. I'm going to take a little water break. I need some water. Let me drink some water. I ain't taking a minute. I'm coming back. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what this coffin is about. If you are to look in countries, look at India for instance, in every 1.4 million people there is 2 deaths. What is happening in Trinidad and Tobago? What is wrong with us? Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to tote that coffin until the government outfit these facilities. That is where my fight lies. I have nothing personal against the Alsing. I have nothing personal against Rowley. But I have it personal, very much personal, with the number of deaths that continues to occur on a daily basis. While we building waterfront projects, while we building big stadium in San Fernando, while we spending money all about, our citizens is dying because there is not enough equipment, there is no medicine, or they ain't understanding what is happening, or they ain't seeing what is happening. I will continue this fight, ladies and gentlemen. Come what may, I will continue that fight. If I had to put coffin by all of them house, because all of them responsible for the deaths. Nobody can stop nobody from getting infected with COVID-19. You have a personal responsibility. That is not the fight. For those of you who brain shallow, that is not the fight. The fight for Victor Roberts is to outfit the facilities, get enough doctors, get enough nurses, and get enough space. Bring the competent, qualified doctors on board. When you have a government with a prime minister like Rowley, who telling you point blank, they don't want to hear nothing from the opposition. Who Rowley feel he is? Who Rowley feel he is? Rowley feel that this is his country? He don't want to hear nothing from the opposition. So he doing what he want. And some other idiots support that. All they supporting that, not when the thing hit the fan. When the thing hit the fan and it's spattering on their face, all they looking for somebody to blame. Blame the man who carrying the coffin, but I'll bring that coffin home by all and all. Because it could eventually reach, you know. All you play the game and play stupid and play politics with what's going on and see if that coffin day might come, but one just like that coming for you. All you don't understand what's going on yet. All you feel it says UNC. All you feel everything happen UNC. All they studying people. All they studying country. All they studying debt. All they only studying PNM. Study PNM. They will bury some all later balise in all the box too. That's what they go do. They will bury some all here with a balise because it come in, you know. It come in. Don't feel because by your neighbor, it didn't reach by you, it didn't reach yet, but it coming. So always support dotishness. Support dotishness and study UNC. And don't study the government that carrying all the down the death road. Don't study them. Study UNC. Study UNC. UNC running the government. It's Kamla in charge. It's Kamla who making decisions for the government. It's Kamla who telling the government what to do. It's Kamla who telling the government don't give a little money. It's Kamla telling the government don't outfit the facilities. It's Kamla telling the government don't hire professionals. It's Kamla telling the government bringing them idiots and them to man the hospital. Always stay there with that. Stay there with that. One thing about death, it ain't no race and it ain't no party. Death knows no race and it knows no party. So let's stay there now. Stay there and start to comment about coffin and DL Singh and coffin. Let's study that. Comment. Comment some more. The coffin go footy well reach by earlier. All you feel this is a game. All you feel this is a game. But it ain't no game with me. This ain't no game with Victor. All who feel that is a game, all you go ahead. But this ain't no game with me. All you can't stop me from fighting. And I will continue to fight as long as God give me life. Take that, smoke that as good tobacco, as marijuana, wherever you want to take it as. Smoke that. Because that is what it will be with me. You know why? Because my fight is not for me. My fight is for the people. My fight is for the poor and the oppressed. My fight is for the downtrodden. My fight is for those who live in poverty. My fight is for those who don't have food. My fight is for those who have shelter. My fight is for those who cannot provide an education for the children. That is what my fight is. So all you living up here, so all you text, continue texting, text. Let me tell you something, don't waste all the time because that cannot deter Victor Roberts. You hear what I'm telling you? I doesn't even reply to an idiot on social media. I replied to one of my cousins today. One of my cousins astonished me and him. She sent a text. So what they expect to achieve? I know I text she back and tell she. I text she ask Rowley or the PNM. That's why I text she back and tell she. That's my cousin. But outside of that, I don't reply to people. If you have a sensible text that makes sense, that warrant an explanation, I'm willing and happy to explain to you. Other than that, you could put wash your body. That come like a microwave brain. All you have is hot air. That does nothing to me. Absolutely nothing. Right? Let's move on. So that is the purpose of that. And if you don't understand, 316-4468, call me, I will help you explain. 316-4468, that's my number. Call me if you still don't understand. I will try to spend a little time to help you to understand. And I hope on the next walk, I will see you there too, standing up for them who die and stand up for them who will die because of the negligence and incompetent government that all you vote in power. All right? Right. So let me move on. Mr. Faris Alwari. Mr. Faris Alwari. I am trying to source a basic textbook. I am trying to source a basic textbook, Faris Alwari, which will help you to understand basic laws and the role of the Constitution. I'm trying to get a book for you. Because what I realize that the years you spend trying to get a mark to become what I consider you cannot be, a competent lawyer, I realize that sometimes money does talk. What I mean by that? Sometimes money does talk. I, Victor Watts, I does do some reading. I really had to look for that textbook. Basic laws for you, Faris. Basic laws for you to understand the role of basic laws and the role of the Constitution. You see, I realize that you spend so much time, boy, trying to get a mark, trying to scrape through, that it didn't really do you no justice. So what you just try to do is to dress up nice. Well, I just can't describe you how Arnold describe you, right? Arnold have a special way of describing you. So I would just say the way Arnold does describe you. But first, I, Victor Wallace, believe he is a dunce lawyer. I believe that. I believe that you is a dunce head lawyer. Because I'm going to tell you something. I ain't no lawyer. But I just read some law books, Faris. I just read some law books in between when I have spare time. But me no lawyer. But Faris, I am certain that there is some laws that I could interpret better than you. Because when I hear you speak, Faris, apart from your wide repertoire of words, apart from that, I must tell you, you had that. You're all right there. You're all right there, Faris. But Faris, when coming to the Constitution, what is wrong with you, boy? What make you believe that you could just take laws that require 2/3 and just pass them with simple majority? First, you're going to have some fight coming up. You're going to have some fight coming up, my brother. You're going to have some serious fight coming up. Because let me tell you something. There is lawyers in this country that is quite more competent, smart, capable than you. I am trying to understand what is wrong with the ex-attorney generals that this country had. How come we not hearing nothing from these fellas? I have a question for you, Faris. Them fellas on the payroll, Faris, is those fellas that giving you advice behind the scene, Faris, are asking? These ex-attorney generals, Faris Alwari, is those guys giving you advice behind the scene for a hefty sum of taxpayers' money, Faris? Question I ask it. You see, in this country, we have too much of deceitful hypocrites as attorneys in this country. Let me say it again. In this Trinidad and Tobago, we have too much deceitful hypocrites as attorneys in this country. We have a bunch of them who have no sense. All they know is dollars. No sense. And once the dollar hefty, you could get an advice from me, whether it is wrong or whether it is right. So you get an advice based on the quantum of the stacks. For a better word, the pile. So once the pile are blues big enough, we give your advice to suit. Faris, I want to tell you, be very careful who you get advice from. Because they're setting you up, Faris. They're setting you up and you go fall. You see, you're bound to fall, you know. One way or the other, you go fall. Because let me tell you what I believe, Faris. I believe that you're trying now to fall back in the good books of Keith Rowley. I believe that you feel that you was on the outcast list, and therefore you're trying to do anything to get back in the good books. Now I tell you what I feel. I ain't saying that is what happening. I feel that the rest of the cabinet figure it's time that you go. So I feel that you're holding on to straws. I feel so. I ain't saying it is so. I just feel so. I feel they want to use you as a scapegoat, Faris. I feel so. I feel it's only a matter of time before they throw you to the wolf, Faris. But Faris, you know you could save yourself. I believe that you really don't like what's going on. A gentleman tell me the other day, he said, boy, I and Faris went to school, and Faris was a real good fella in school. One of his schoolmates tell me that, you know. He said, but I don't know what cross up, what zigzag, what going on with Faris, but Faris is not the man that I used to know. So hear me now. Put in me 2 cents. I say you feel as the rental money that change him. I say you feel as the rent money that change him. All the rent that the family collected, you feel as that? He said, boy, Victor, I really know what Faris change. Faris, you could still be a star boy in this whole thing. I am certain that you are information. I believe that you are information. I feel that you are information that could put this thing to an end. Why not send it from me, Faris? I just call out my number 3164468. It could drop in my mailbox, not too wrong with that. I willing to help you, but you have to help me. We could help the citizens of this country. First, let us help the citizens go back to the poll and get a fresh mandate. Talk to me. Talk to me. Let me fix it. We could fix it. I know we could fix it. But I will come back to you on another live with what I want to talk about. So let me deal with the rest of the MPs in the PNM. You MPs that sitting in the cabinet under Keith Rowley, who doesn't have a say, what are you waiting on? You MPs who doesn't have a say in any decision making within the parliament, what are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? You MPs who continue to get bullied from the raging bull, all you have to sit down with all your tail between all your leg. What are you waiting on to help this country? What are you waiting on to help this country? All you know what is going on is not right. All you seeing people dying. All you seeing the economy crash. Or you seeing that there is no hope for all your own children? Or you still sitting on the rowley? Or you still sitting up there? What are you waiting on? Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a serious state. We are in a state of almost a state that you will never be able to recover from. An unrepairable state. Help this country now, MPs. Or you know what is happening is not right. Or you know that we are going down a road of no return. Help all your constituency. Help this country. If all you don't care about all yourself, help the future generation, please. Let us collectively bring about an election, MPs. It is not too late. It is not too late for all to salvage the PNM and get a new leader. All you see, all the leader carrying all the down a road of no return, a road that will mash up all your party forever. Why not stand and look for a fresh mandate, remove all the leader, and give all yourself a chance again to fight? Or you cannot continue like this. Or you cannot leave the country to destruct under the raging bull. Or you have to stand up, the MPs, save Trinidad and Tobago, vote against Rowley in the parliament, vote against his policies. That is the option that you have available. An option that will help you in the future. Only in the parliament, only seen one set of MPs benefiting from the public purse. Only seen it. A few benefited from the wealth of the country. They bathed in money. They have money to the ledger. Nothing for all you. Only see that one set of people getting contracts. When you look at the Prime Minister getting over 500,000 off, when you look at the daughter, same amount off, whether it be 400 or 500,000, when you look at the wife, same amount off, or you're telling me that is only friend? So they see thy more than friend? What are they benefiting from supporting a man who bully all you and buff all you and cuss all you like dog in the parliament, in the cabinet? All they realize that man ain't came out all you. All they realize what happened yet. People have to wake up. Or you have to wake up. Please wake up. I want to say something today to you citizens. I want to tell you today that you cannot sit by in this country and see what is happening and do nothing about it. I'm taking a break. Ask you, ladies and gentlemen, how long would you sit down, lie down, stand up, observe from the outside, and not take an active part to ensure that the government, that they are held accountable for the negligence of so many citizens who lost their life in this country? One. Two, how long would you sit down and see that the wealth of this country plays in one plate until the plate becomes a bowl, and the bowl becomes a bucket, the bucket becomes a drum becomes a tank? That is the money that these selective few, that is the money that they are burdened with. They are burdened with your funds, ladies and gentlemen. And you in understanding, you in seeing, you refuse to know. How come? There's a Greek word that is gnosko. That gnosko, it means coming to know something. And there's another Greek word which is ora, which means to know intimately. In other words, that is how the Creator know us. But we could only gnosko, come to know things. But it seems like in this case, the people at Trinidad and Tobago, that they don't want no part of that word, that they don't want no information, that they don't want the evidence as to what is happening. They just want to sit by the side of the road and wait to dead. They just want to talk about he with she and she with he. They want to talk about that she jumped out of a car last night. He jumped over the neighbor fence. But guess what? Their own business. They're not interested. They're not interested in the mass robbery that is taking place with these jacket and tie officials. They're more concerned about the robbery on the street. The Chinese go street get robbed. They rob the gas station. They grab a woman's purse. They're more interested in that. But the selective few who grabbing the millions and going with it, that is no concern. That is not important. That is no big deal. Everybody cool. That is what we're doing. We see in certain roads in this country. I saw recently a document, and Roberts speaks of some driveway that paved in Tobago for $5 million. A driveway in some big housing scheme paid for $500 million. But what's your roads? You paying taxes. You paying fuel tax. What's your road? What's your road? And you comfortable. You cool. We ain't riot yet. That's what the man say. He raised it, we ain't riot yet. I raise it again, they still in riot yet. I raise it for the third time, they still in riot. And I might footy well raise it again. And he laugh. And all of them laugh. You remember the song? They buy a boat and it wouldn't float. And they say the boat is for sailing goat and we laughing. All you know that song? Everybody laugh. And who they laugh at? You the voter. Who they laugh at? You the poor man. Who they laugh at? You who fighting to maintain your car. My question is, what are you doing about it? What are you doing about it? Watch. Watch. And everybody going down in the hole. And everybody just going and you hear what they're saying, great is the PNM, and they're going their merry way. Right? Or they're laughing. My question is, what are they doing about it? Are they ready to stop laugh? Are they ready to make them stop laugh at we? They're laughing at us all the time. Are they ready to stop them? How are we going to stop them? How are we going to stop them? I had the plan. Again, already planned right now. We're going to stop them simply by demanding fresh elections. We don't have to take up no gun, you know. We don't have to take up no bomb, you know. We don't even have to take up a cutlass or a penknife. We just have to take up with self. We just have to take up with self and shut down this country. Farage say no injection, no pay, shut down the country. Let your fortitude grow. Let it grow huge. Shut down the country. Call election. But how strong it is? How many fortitude you have? How large? How strong? Are you ready? For the longest while, you know you're going to start 100 meter. When you're going to start 100 meter, you're free come now with your little pistol. Tell all the guy in the docks. All they sit down, all they get inside there and all they press. He says, say. And the next thing he hears, bow. And you know what I mean. That means run for your life. You know how long we on say? You know how long we down there on the marks? You know how long we get set? But you know we ain't going at all? Why we ain't going? Because we too weak. Because we don't have fortitude. Because we don't have stamina. Because we still having a little to eat. Because we can still pay we bill a little bit. What are you waiting on, people? You're waiting for it to done. You're waiting for it to dry up. You're waiting for 40 and 50 deaths when the day come. Die when you go ready to act. That is when you go ready to shut down. That is when you go sing called election now. We are a people. We are a people in this country who understand right from wrong. We know that there will have to come a time in this country where we will have to stand for our rights, where we will have to stand and defend each other, where we will have to stand and ensure that democracy prevails. Ladies and gentlemen, that time is now. The time for procrastination is long gone. And that is a big word. I know I doesn't like to go there. That is the time for putting it off. That is what a big word means. All this big procrastination. The time for putting it off, ladies and gentlemen. How long will you stay in your village and suffer? How long will you stay in your village without food? How long will you stay in your village without medicine? How long will you stay in your village and cannot provide for your children? How long will you stay in your village and cannot pay your bills? How long will you stay in your village and just die? We deserve better than that, ladies and gentlemen. Our foreparents had stood the test of time. Our foreparents have provided for mother country. This mother country, our foreparents provide with rice and cane and oil and gas. They provide a type of labor for small wages. They provide so that today you and I would be able to have something in this society. They provide, ladies and gentlemen, so that you and I can have a future. How come we are not standing up to represent the pressure that our foreparents had gone through in this country to make our lives better? Would we surrender, or would we stand as our foreparents had set the example, so that you and I can stand to ensure that our children have the same opportunity that our foreparents allow us to have? Would we stand and make our foreparents, our ancestors proud, because we have taken up the mantle to fight the battle to ensure that Trinidad and Tobago prevail? That we have taken up the mantle to ensure that the future generation that comes from within our loins and the womb of our wives, that they will have the opportunity to survive in this country? Would we allow the collective few to benefit and to milk the wealth out of this country that they have been doing for the past 7 years, getting fatter and fatter with taxpayer dollar? They have taken the cow that produces the milk, and they have severed the limbs of the cow. The cow is at a state where it cannot walk, but yet it still gives little milk. Let us, ladies and gentlemen, protect that cow and take that cow away from those who have abused it. Take that cow away from those who have not seen the value of it. Take that cow away and store it where the children of the country, the future, will have some milk to live on. Ladies and gentlemen, my cry for this country today is so that we will stand in unity, so that we will stand in strength, and that we will ensure that this country is saved from the monsters that continue to eat out the wealth of the country, out of every bit of resources that God has provided for the future of this country. We have seen their friends benefit with millions upon millions. We have seen these individuals drive fancy Porsche cars that worth millions of dollars. They have used our credit card tax-free. They have import every and anything tax-free. We are the ones that pay the bill for their benefits. We are the ones that have them living in this high society while we live in the barrios and on the streets and in the galvanized and plywood shacks. They eat shrimps and drink scotch and eat sumptuously every day while we provide the food for them. They have no gratitude to even give us a taste from what we have been producing for them to nourish upon. And so I am calling on the citizens of this country to stand together and demand an election. Let us give the future a chance. Let us give the future generation a chance. Let us give your son and my daughter an opportunity where they could become husband and wife and live over the sustenance of this country. We have seen a type of abuse and a type of punishment by a government that we have never ever seen in our history before. We have removed government for less than this type of behavior. And how come in God's name that we can sit and take this type of behavior from a government that continue to deal wretched with its citizens and we remain humble? We have seen the religious organizations, they have cried out in every corner before, and today we are experiencing the worst type of treatment, a treatment that is ungodly, and yet the religious bodies, they are quiet. We have seen the chambers of commerce in every corner make all type of noise for less than this. And today, while they are under severe pressure from this government, yet they are dumb. We have seen the Law Association complain and make all type of allegation against governments. And today, we have seen an Attorney General who abused his power, and yet the Law Association remains without tongue. We have a judiciary who have the responsibility to interpret constitutional laws and crises and make determination. And today, with all that is happening with the breach of our constitution by the Prime Minister, by the President, by the Police Service Commission, yet the judiciary remain like a dog without teeth. They does not even whisper a song. They have never cried out foul. Now I'm saying to you, Trinidad and Tobago, because we have experienced all these things, now the onus is on us to stand and defend our country, to stand together and fight in our country, not by weapons, but by our stance and by our position, to remove a government by calling for fresh election, giving the country a chance to get a fresh mandate and to install a government that will look after the well-being of its people. And henceforth forward, we must hold every government responsible, every politician responsible, every member of parliament accountable. They must be transparent. They must stand for what is right. They must deal with the country in an equitable manner to ensure that justice, fairness, and equity prevail for every and any citizens in this country. I thank you tonight, and God bless you. You will hear from me soon.
It's time Trinidad, you learn some sense and stop taking serious things for nonsense and laughing. Anything that takes place in this country, whether it affects the country or we laughing. Water and gas flow in the same rate, hospital and still this in second place, and we laughing. We my people coming from heaven knows they walk in the street with the thing exposed, and we laughing. Everybody laughing, everybody glad, everybody keeps saying up on we in Trinidad. Always reshuffling cabinet, and up to now they can't do nothing yet, and we laughing. We buy a boat and it never floated, then we know it used to carry boat, and we laughing. Raise the salary with a big back pay, and we trenching for workers every day, and we laughing. When election come and you wouldn't vote, or you say in this we go cut it throat, and we laughing. Everybody laughing, everybody glad, everybody keeps singing up on we in Trinidad.